All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin, I'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and head apostles, the great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there that scattered abroad in the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Michael coming with you again with another lesson. And as always, Lord willing, it'll be edifying, straight to the point. And yeah, we have approached in the time and season where the Lord is pretty much visiting the world which he made. And that process is being made manifest now by the way of these various earthquakes that's taking place upon the planet Earth. Okay, you got uproars of the people going on around the world. Okay, all these things centers around biblical prophecy. Okay, which letting you know that we are drawing closer to the end. The end is near than when we believe. Okay, so let's read this article. It says 6.2 magnitude earthquake detected in Japan. No tsunami warning issued. Okay, and this right here was 1 day old, 1 day ago. Okay, this happened yesterday, and recently during the year 2025, a lot of I believe it was tsunamis and earthquakes was rapidly hitting Japan. Okay, and as well, earthquakes have been pretty much hitting diverse places around the world as well. Okay. So let's read it a little bit more. It says multiple earthquakes, including one at 6.2 magnitude, struck western Japan late Tuesday morning, local time, centered in Shimane Prefecture and neighboring Tottori Prefecture. It says the initial quake hit at 10:18 a.m. JST, magnitude 6.2, at a depth of about 6 miles, registering upper 5 on Japan's seismic intensity scale. A second tremor followed shortly after magnitude 5.1, registering lower 5. Long swaying motion was widely reported, with additional aftershocks continuing through late morning. All right, and you notice the key word right here. It says multiple earthquakes. So you know what I'm saying. So it's showing you that the earthquakes taking place upon diverse places in the world proves that the Lord is beginning to visit the world which he made. Letting you know that scriptures is spot on, man. That the words of the Lord are faithful and true, because he said these things are going to come to pass. And now you're seeing happening right before your very eyes. Okay, and the things you're seeing now starting to spark off that the Lord told you that's going to come to pass. It's going to be played out on the high vibration very soon. All right, because we are in the latter times. So let's start off here. In the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that what we doing. Okay, we measuring the times, you know what I'm saying, watching things going on in the world, okay, and using the scriptures as our measurement stick to see what's being played out that goes hand in hand with biblical prophecy. All right. And it says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, which those signs goes hand in hand with prophecy. All right. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we're in that time right now. Okay. You people is very well witnessing that. Okay. By the way of these various events that's taking place. Which the events that take place in the world is not casual events, they prophetic events. All right. But right now they're being played out on the small level. But pretty soon they're going to increase rapidly. In verse 3, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. You see that? And this proves to you, man, that hey, it's Yahweh by Hashem Yahshua visiting the world, man, by the way of these earthquakes. Because Lord said he was going to visit with storm and tempest and earthquake. When you go here to the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, and verse 6, it says, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahshua of hosts with thunder and with earthquake. You see that? Hey, once again, proves to you, hey, it's the Lord visiting the world which he made. It says, and great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Yeah, so the Lord, he's in control of all the elements in the world, the water, the wind, the fire, okay? And not to forget to mention, the people who got killed in that bar, I forget exactly where it was. But I believe it was in, somewhere overseas, and I can't recall where that was at right off. But you can do your own research on men being killed in an explosion during celebrating New Year's Eve. Okay, it might come back to mind where the place was actually at, but it's on kind of mind right now. But and as well, the Lord been bringing forth these storms and tempests. Okay. So by the way, these people dying by explosions, being burnt to death, people dying in these storms and earthquakes. Okay, it all goes back to the works of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahshua, man. All right, because these things, these signs that's being played out, pinpoints to the end and to Yahweh Shai's second return, which we're gonna end off here in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. I'm going to read verse 3, but the point is in verse 7. It says, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So right here, that took place was a secret council. And the word right here that should stand out is privately, which there was a secret, conversation amongst Yahushua and his disciples. The disciples was inquiring of Yahushua's second return and of the end of the world. And the end, just in case you don't know, the end is synonymous with Esau, the so-called white man. The end of his rulership, the end of his empire. Okay, that was all boiling down to. So now let's jump down to the point in verse 7. It says, For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And that's going on now. Okay. That way you're hearing more about wars, okay, in the world. Okay. It says, And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes, and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. So that's the reason behind the earthquakes that's taking place, because, it's a major prophecy that's going to happen, which is already happening now. That's going to happen before the end come, before Yahweh shall return. So we're in a time where the Lord is beginning to visit the world which he made, and we drawing closer and closer to the end. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. And as always, I'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully elect out there that's scattered abroad in the four corners of the earth. Till the next time I say shalom.